Good afternoon from the Red Mic. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Beautiful day here in Austin, Texas today. Nice and sunny. Had some great rain last night, so uh, everything's looking nice and green. Let's talk today about Mrs. Nussbaum's credit card. Now, if you're like me, a man of a certain age, you probably get that reference. Uh, you may not, though. It's all about being a voucher, but in a good way. Now, the bad way is in the movie The Jerk, starring Steve Martin, which featured Mrs. Nussbaum's credit card, although just for like that long. Uh, Steve Martin, Navin R. Johnson, is working as a gas pump attendant at a gas station at the very early part of the movie. And his boss, Mr. Hartunian, leaves him in control of the gas station on Sunday. And he says, "Now, this is a very important deal." And he said, "I'm trusting you, so I need you to run everything the way you're supposed to." And he's like, "All right, I'll take care of it." Well, these gentlemen come in, and it's pretty clear that based on some visual cues, that the credit card that they give poor old Navin for the gasoline is not valid. They actually pull it out of a purse, one of many purses, down in the floorboard of their car, and he looks at the card and he says, "Are you Mrs. Nussbaum?" And he goes, "No, I'm Mr. Nussbaum." And the guy next to him says, "Oh yeah, he is. I'll vouch for him." He says, "Okay, as long as I've got a voucher." Well, that's not the kind of voucher you need in life or in business. Now, the kind of voucher you need in business is the kind who will go to bat for you. Okay, a friend of mine just noticed on LinkedIn earlier today that he got a new job, and this is a great deal. I mean, he had hung out his own shingle for a while, but he'd gotten laid off and then hung out his own shingle, and but he needed and wanted a full-time gig, and I'm so thrilled that he got one. Well, a while back, also on LinkedIn, I saw that he had saw that there was a job that would be perfect for him. So I went and I saw that he had commented on it. So I go into the comments and say, "Hey, he'd be great, fantastic." Well, he ended up getting an interview, so I vouched for him. I don't know if that had any stroke or not. Doesn't matter. I still vouch for him. Now, ultimately, he ended up not getting the job after he spent more than 6 hours interviewing with 8 different people. But that's a complaint for another time. But come on, HR people do better. I mean, 6 hours more plus with eight, eight different people. 8. So, talk about a waste of his time. So, in 2015, 2016, I was out of work for a long time. I was hanging up. I was laid off. Got a couple months of severance pay, and they were happy with me. They just didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. And they said, "Well, here, we're going to give you a couple months severance. Thank you. You worked your tail off. We appreciate it. Yada yada." But during that time frame, for the next, frankly, year, I was underemployed. I mean, I was hanging out my own shingle and did a few contracts here and there, and you did just enough to keep the wool from the door. But along the way, there were plenty of people who vouched for me, giving me a job reference and whatnot, saying, "Hey, Patrick's a good guy. He works hard. He knows what he's talking about." So I've made this promise to folks in the past, and obviously, if I don't know, you can't do it. But this is the promise I make to people that I know. If someone asks me for a job reference, I will respond to them. I'll let them know what I'm going to say, and then I'll contact the company, or if I have a personal contact there, I'll contact them, and I'll say, "Okay, I worked with them in this situation, and through that, I found them to be smart and hardworking and all of those kind of things." Now, on the other hand, if I don't know their work history or their work habits, I will talk about how smart I think they are and their loyalty and, you know, and I'm not going to lie for anybody, but I'm not going to leave them hanging either. And then I'll let them know, good, bad, or indifferent, how the conversation went. I would encourage y'all to do the same thing. As Rodney Dangerfield might have said, actually, he actually did say this in the movie Back to School. It's hard out there. You got to look out for number one. Make sure you don't step in number two. I know it's a really bad Rodney Dangerfield, but you get what you pay for, right? And this is free comment, so yeah, you do have to look out for number one, but at the same time, look out for your friends and colleagues. Try to pay it forward in whatever way you can, because who knows? The next time it might be you that needs someone to be a voucher. And I'm not talking about Mrs. Nussbaum's credit card. Y'all have a good day.